we are moving on. The NHS has been accused of handing out free passes to almost 1 million asylum seekers in the last 5 years. It comes as the Metropolitan Police have outlined their policing plan for potential protests outside hotels housing asylum seekers this weekend. We will be covering that story now. We have got him. Yeah, we are definitely going to GB News presenter Ben Leo, who is outside one of the hotels in North London. Ben.
Hello, Dawn. Good afternoon, viewers. Yes, outside the Thistle Barbican Hotel in North London, Jeremy Corbyn's due to be turning up fairly shortly, we've heard. So if we can try and get a word with him, we will. In the last couple of minutes, Dawn, masked Antifa members, the so-called far-left anti-fascists, have turned up. They are mostly all wearing masks, as you can see. A change, really, of scenery compared to the Bell Hotel protest in Epping last week, where the police had an order for all face masks to be removed. I just spoke to one police officer now and asked why they were all masked up. He said there's no such order today here in North London. They're allowed to be as masked as they want, some wearing full balaclavas. And on first glances, if you're an ordinary protester, it looks quite intimidating. We don't know who they are, where they're from, what their intentions are. But the controversy surrounding this hotel in particular, Dawn, the Thistle in the Barbican in North London, is that there's been a spate, I'd say, according to the Man on Sunday last month, around 90 hotel migrants here have been charged with various crimes in recent months. I must stress they've been charged yet. Some have been found guilty, but most of them are still accused. So we'll let the process of law take its place. But in terms of the numbers, Dawn, there are far more anti-racism protesters, stand up to racism, Antifa here, far more of them at the moment than the anti-migrant protesters. Some here that they're holding banners and placards. Here's a woman holding a Union Jack defiantly, with squaring off against masked Antifa members. Can we see your sign, please, madam? Madam. It says. Can't quite see what the sign says, but literally squaring off here, alone. I mean, it's the personification of Britain at the moment. A lone British woman, you know, by herself, defiantly holding up a Union Jack flag against a sea of Antifa masked protesters. This is her view. If we move round now, this is the view she's faced with as she stands alone holding her flag.
Do you want to save a boatload of cash this summer, wherever you have a trip planned? The one thing you're going to need is access to the internet and on the go. And you can do that easily with Saily. Hit the link in the description to get 15% off your first eSIM plan ready for your trip, so you can browse to your heart's content. Saily gets you a local SIM card you can use when traveling, so you don't have to pay those crazy roaming fees just to send a message or check the latest news. Now, they've got plans in over 160 countries, 8 regions, so pretty much everywhere, wherever you're going, they'll be able to make sure you're connected. So how does it work? All you've got to do is this. Hit the link in the description to download the app. It will work on iOS or Android. Buy a plan. You can choose an amount of data and time frame that suits you best. And then just install the eSIM on your phone. When you land at your holiday destination, you can activate your plan instantly. And if that wasn't enough, Saily eSIMs only ever have to be installed once. So when you go on your next trip, you just buy a plan for a new country, turn that eSIM back on, and boom, you're back watching me on GB News. I'll be using a Saily SIM on my next holiday because it's actually faster than some of the hotel Wi-Fis. You can get unlimited data if you want, so you can scroll away to your heart's content. And when you leave the hotel, you don't have to do that annoying thing of Wi-Fi hopping because you've got constant connectivity wherever you go. And they've got 24/7 support as well, and a full refund policy if your eSIM isn't compatible. So get sorted for your next trip. Download Saily using the link in the description below. And if you use the code NEWS at checkout, you'll get an exclusive 15% discount on us. So click the link, download Saily, and use the code NEWS at checkout.
Ben, I don't know if you can hear me.
Tension's definitely rising here. The police. Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, it looks like the police are attempting to move that lady with the Union flag on. Is that the case?
No, she's fine. They're creating a barrier. She's fine standing as she is. They're creating a protective barrier, as far as I can see, to kind of create a gap against the Antifa members. Let me see if I can speak to her quickly. Madam, you've got 2 seconds. You're live on GB News. Why are you standing there so defiantly? Are you not intimidated by this lot? Why do you feel so strongly you have to stand here and hold the Union Jack aloft?
My grandchildren.
You fear for their future? What do you think of this lot turning up with their face masks?
Stop.
Okay.
No masks. No masks.
No masks?
No masks.
Okay.
If you're proud, no masks.
There we go, Dawn. Tensions, as I said, rising here. The police doing a decent job so far, but it feels like it's on the precipice of potentially boiling over. So for now, I'll scurry to safety. The lady, props to that woman there. You know, she must be about 50, 60. She's standing there defiantly by herself in front of a sea of masked Antifa members. And I'll tell you myself, I've been to these protests in recent weeks. I was at Epping last week. These people who turn up in masks, I don't know who they are, where they're from, what their intentions are, or who funds them. They can get very, very nasty indeed. I speak from personal experience. So that woman there, brave, courageous, and dare I say it, speaks for probably a lot of the country right now.
Ben, I do find it incredibly intimidating just watching you and that lady standing there, very peaceful, just standing there holding the flag of the nation at the end of the day. I found it very intimidating just watching you, those people with the balaclavas and the dark face masks on. I mean, I know there's no enforcement order on, but it is just very intimidating atmosphere there.
It is, and as I said, it's nothing new. This happens all the time when the far left, when you get extremists, Dawn, when extremists get involved, either from the left or the right, you know, there is. If we turn around here, it's kicking off again here, Ollie. If you look over here, someone's getting arrested. I think a guy with a mask on. Not sure which side he's from. He's wearing an England shirt. He's getting arrested. Photographers running over to get their shots. Possibly that is maybe the first arrest of today. If indeed he is being arrested, he's been put in cuffs. It is intimidating, Dawn. It is intimidating, especially, as the lady said with the Union Jack, when you can't see their faces, you don't know who they are. Me, personally, just standing there, when this group came out the road, I had a couple of guys in full balaclavas just standing there for 1 or 2 minutes staring me out. I was trying not to engage eye contact with them, but I knew they were staring at me. And yeah, it's intimidating, it's not nice, it can potentially boil over into a nasty atmosphere, as maybe we're getting to now. It seems we don't want to see. We want to see peaceful protests from both sides. I am of the belief, as viewers probably are as well, that we want to have open, honest conversations. When it comes to intimidation and borderline violence and threats and insults, that's not good, you know?
Lost to understand how this is actually... I was just going to say, I'm at a loss as to understand how this is actually helping any migrants.
Well, some people I've spoken to, that's the hotel there, some people I've spoken to who come to these quite regularly, the likes of Adam Brooks, he was at the Epping Hotel protest in recent weeks. He said to me, and I hope he doesn't mind me saying this, that he's kind of feeling like that he's trying to find what the point is of these protests now. They kind of losing their meaning a little bit, because you get the far left coming down just calling everybody Nazis and fascists, which isn't true, and then you've got the original protesters who are concerned about their communities, concerned about their children, as the lady said, getting loads of abuse. And then the police have a massive policing operation on their hands as well. I don't know how many officers are here today or how much it's costing them in operations, but you know, there's burglaries going unsolved, there's robbings, there's muggings. How many times have I been in London where I've seen people had phones snatched out of their hands? So there is an argument, I guess, that these protests have run their course, but at the same time, the government isn't listening. It was only last week, I mentioned to you earlier, Dawn, that the Canary Wharf Hotel, the Home Office came out and said, we will not be housing migrants in this hotel. What did they do overnight? Last night, in the darkness of night, in the secrecy of night time, they bust in 2 loads of probably 300-400 migrants. So again, I'm not going to say the Home Office has lied, but something has changed between now and a week ago. And that doesn't do much to build trust of the community and indeed the country who are concerned about these migrant hotels.
Indeed. Ben, thank you very much. That is GB News presenter Ben Leo, who is covering the protest outside the Migrant Hotel in North London. We will be going back to Ben as the afternoon progresses. And it does look like, indeed, it is getting... well, I thought those images were quite worrying, to be honest with you. I don't know about you. Meanwhile, Ben did mention the hotel in Tower Hamlets, and a spokesperson for Tower Hamlets Council has said, We are aware of the government's decision to use the Britannia Hotel in Canary Wharf to provide temporary accommodation for asylum seekers. It is important that the government ensures that there is a full package of support for those staying at the hotel. We are working with the Home Office and partners to make sure that all necessary safety and safeguarding arrangements are in place.